Yes, I mean, obviously excited to be able to secure a 3 seed. The tied for the best in the history of our school. Real credit to these guys and their work ethic. Obviously, Akron's a really good team. I've known John Gross for a long time. He's been a terrific coach everywhere that he's been, and I'm not surprised that he's done as well as he's done at Akron. And then interesting. I'm a Steeler fan. Never been to Pittsburgh, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. And obviously we've had 2 coaches in the last 30 years at Creighton, and we'll both be in Pittsburgh in the same quad. That's pretty cool stuff.
Questions for anybody?
Yeah, Ryan and Trey, I mean, I know this is kind of the start of unfinished business for you guys to a degree, but I think Doug's senior year team was the only other team who got 3 seed in Creighton history. Is there a sense of accomplishment with that, even though it's kind of just the start of where you guys will be back to?
Yeah, you can take a little bit of pride in that, knowing you had a good regular season, but once March comes around, every team that makes March Madness is a good team. So it's really cool and really awesome that we got the 3 seed, but we're about to go play a bunch of really good teams, so we got to go in prepared and ready to take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Kalk. I think that obviously we did some good things in the regular season this year, especially. But like Kalk said, when March comes around, every team is good around this time. We've seen a lot of teams lose in the first round. They were supposed to win the first round, so we're just going to take it one game at a time. I mean, this is my 3rd time, his 4th time in an NCAA tournament. We've grown to know that you have to take it one game at a time and focus on the game at hand, because the moment you start to look forward, then that's when teams tend to lose and get upset. So.
Trey, through last year's run and through your guys' past couple of runs together, how much does that experience that in your guys' core, how much does that help when you get into this tournament?
Yeah, it helps a lot for sure. I think that everybody in this, I would say, even Mason, everybody in our starting 5 we've played in the NCAA tournament game. We've played in multiple. It's just a great, number one, it's a great experience to be able to play in this tournament, something that we've all wanted to do since we were younger. But like we said, just the preparation is the key throughout this whole tournament, making sure that you go in and you're putting your best foot forward, and you're making sure that that you don't take anything for granted, and that you don't take any team lightly, because like I said, the moment that you do that, that's when teams tend to lose their opportunity. And obviously this year we have high aspirations to make it really far in the tournament, so we just going to be very locked in since our first practice tomorrow, and then we're just going to lock it in throughout the Pittsburgh, things like that. So
do the jitters feel different as you've done it before, or is it always when you get on the floor for March Madness and the patches on your jersey and everybody's playing basically 40 minutes at that point, does it just all come back?
I think there's always a little bit of it. Definitely less jitters than like my freshman or sophomore year, but for me at least, you're never going to get to a point where you never get a little bit of, I don't call it nervous, but jitters, and it's just a special time of year to play, and so you're always going to have a little jitters.
Yeah, I think that if you don't get a little excited about this as a basketball player, then I don't think that you play basketball at a high enough level. I think that for you to be in this game, regardless of what seed that you are, I feel like if you're ready to compete, then it just kind of brings a different type of sense of urgency for you. Kind of makes the hairs on your skin grow a little bit. So I'm excited, and I know these guys are excited, and we're just ready to get going. So.
To Trey and then Kalk, how much stock are you putting in last week at MSG in terms of what takeaways you can take from that for next week?
Yeah, I think that it just has a lot to do with preparation. I think even though that we lost it against a good Providence team, I think that we played hard to the end. I think that even when shots weren't falling, we tried to get stops on the defensive end. We were talking, we were just doing different things to make sure that whether we lost, that we knew that we could do everything we could do, because sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the hoop, and I think that's one of the reasons that we weren't able to pull it out. But I mean, just being able to make sure our defense is on point. I think that's the biggest thing going throughout this tournament, is letting our defense carry us and being able to win games even when we're not able to make shots and things of that sort. So I think the defense is going to be the biggest key throughout this tournament for us.
Yeah, and it's the same thing Trey said. Like, you take that loss, you watch film, you learn from it, and then figure out how to fix it. And for a lot of that, for us, is going to be figuring out how to be on point on defense for 40 minutes straight and not have like stretches where our defense isn't as good or not as locked in. So just getting that ironed out so we play 40 straight minutes of really good, solid defense.
Mac, what are your thoughts to only 3 Big East teams making the field?
Yeah, it's kind of taken a little of the buzz off. Hard to believe, and you know, I certainly recognize the committee's got a very difficult job, and you know, the events of the last couple days with some upsets in conference tournaments has almost made it unprecedented for this tournament. But you know, we're the second best league in the country, and we have 3 teams in the top 3 seed lines, and a team that went 13-7 is not worthy to get in. You know, Seton Hall, St. John's, Providence, Villanova, they all had great wins during the course of the season. So it's disappointing that our league wasn't. Obviously, it's viewed favorably because of the seed lines of UConn and Marquette and ourselves, but you know, disappointed that we weren't able to get a couple more teams in, because those teams are certainly deserving, and they all had terrific years, and I feel for their coaches and their players, because if you win half your games in the Big East, you should be playing in the postseason.
To that effect, you've been a proponent of tournament expansion, considering how the bubble looked this year with so many teams kind of feeling like they had a case. Do you think that's something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and my reasoning is simple. You know, I understand it was 64 teams when there was 200 and, you know, whatever teams. We've added 100 teams to Division I or whatever it's been over the last 2 decades. So the percentage of teams that make the NCAA tournament in men's basketball compared to some other sports is really small. So why not allow? I don't know what the number is. Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? Why not allow another 300 or 400 athletes enjoy the experience? I mean, I think it's all going to end up the same in the end, and somebody smarter than me will figure out how to put it all together. But you know, we're living in a day and age of we're trying to do more and more for student athletes all the time, with the NIL in the last couple of years, and you know, I think athletes are treated better than they ever have been. So why not give them more opportunities to play in postseason? Like why does St. John's and Seton Hall and Providence have to feel like they feel today? Oklahoma, you know, teams that had great seasons that didn't get in. So I understand the traditionalist, and you know, I'm as old school as they come. But I also think it's about opportunity and giving, in my opinion, giving young people a little more opportunity to play in the postseason. I don't see any problem with that whatsoever.
Greg, what's the importance of Akron, less than 2 hours from Pittsburgh? What's the importance of having, you know, Omaha show out, travel out there to Pittsburgh?
Yeah. You know, as you looked at some potential opponents, obviously Akron was one that I felt was probably deserving of a higher seed than 14, because I think they're a really good basketball team, and I know how well coached they are, and then you got to play them in their own backyard. So it's you know, we really need to rally the troops here and get as many people out to Pittsburgh as we possibly can, you know, because obviously Akron's going to have a great showing there, and you know, not often do you have to play a road game in a 3-14 game. So we have to do whatever we can to make sure that we take care of that.
What do you know as of now about Akron? I know you know a lot more than a few
Yeah,
days.
I'll know, next couple hours I'll know a lot more. You know, I haven't watched them. I saw the end of their game that they won kind of in a freakish way yesterday. I just saw the highlights of that, but I've not watched 1 second of them. But I will tonight. I'll be able to answer that question tomorrow by 2:45 when we go to the practice floor.
Trey, Ryan, what have the last couple of days been like when you know you don't have a team to prepare for, but you know you still have more games coming?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's a blessing just to know that for what happened in the Big East tournament, that we still have games to be played. And like Max said, you have teams that have had such a great season that don't get to play in the Big East. And for us, it's just trying to, you know, make sure we rest our bodies, make sure that we use the time that we have away from the Big East tournament to be able to recover and be able to get our minds right and kind of mentally prepare for the stretch that we're about to go on. So I think that the biggest thing for us is just being able to lock in these next couple of days and being able to use the days off that we've had to be able to really just focus on Akron and figuring out ways that we can, kind of play against them and be able to, play our game. So.
Tucker and D-Rock get a homecoming here, and got
Awesome,
a couple
man.
other former assistants coming
Yeah,
out.
it's
What do you
crazy.
think about the field?
It's kind of a homecoming. Too bad I won't be here to see him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I talked with TJ this morning, really excited for him. I was talking to D-Rock last night. He had told me it would be a dream to coach in the NCAA tournament in Omaha, so really happy for him. And then Eric Henderson obviously played for me and worked with me at Iowa State. And he worked for TJ at South Dakota State, so they're gonna go against each other in that first round. So I hope they don't call me for tickets because I don't have any. So they'll be fighting over a bunch of tickets, I'm sure.
Matt, how comfortable have you grown in scouting this time of year with the quick turnaround, given how much you guys have played in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to do it. My staff's already over there working on it, and some we'll commit somebody or a couple guys to Akron and a few more to Texas Tech and Oregon to get ready for a potential second round if we're fortunate enough to get past Akron. So, we have a plan. We've done it enough, and in the age of video and obviously it's a lot easier to pull games than it used to be. I mean, you used to be driving VHS tapes across the country the night before, so it's we can put it together pretty quick, and we just have to get it down to a manageable amount by the time we go to the team with it tomorrow at 2:45.
What's the longest road trip you made with the VHS?
Yeah, I didn't make the trip. Somebody else was making it for me, but we back in the day, that's how you did it.